Hey, it's Shop Talk, baby. This is the show where it's okay to be you. We're talking from Yale to jail and from the church house to the pimp house. Nothing's excluded on Shop Talk. So if you don't have a phone, I suggest you borrow one. Call in and voice your opinion live every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Yeah, that's right, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Don't forget to Shop Talk with your girl, because right here, we keeps it real. Good morning. You know, I was getting ready to hit the music. I said, let me go ahead and do what the heck I need to do. So let's get this thing going. Good morning, lovely people. Happy Saturday to you. Yeah, we got a great show today. Great show. And we're just going to hop right into it because I'm looking at the time. So I apologize for the tardiness. Don't like it. It drives me nuts. But we're going to make it happen. So the show today is all hot topics. We're going to cover everything that has been going on. And that's what we're going to do. And we got Nick the Voice. She's going to be via audio. So just letting you guys know that because we're having some technical difficulties. And we just going to shop talk. We're going to talk about this low self-esteem. Dating with low self-esteem. And it's crazy because it is a lot of men who have low self-esteem. And I'm going to touch base on that. And of course, I'm not going to give you a problem without a solution. I'll give you the telltale signs so that you know exactly what's happening. All right. So let's just go ahead and get this thing going. Let's see if I can make this happen. I should be able to. Yeah, that works, right? You know what, some of these things, like when you do them and that mouse I'm a mouser. I am not I'm sorry. Yeah, you know, I cannot do the,
and then you have to unplug it sometimes and stuff. And
you got to do all that too?
Well, no, if you have if you have a corded one, and if you have a cordless one, you have to charge it occasionally.
Okay.
I'll just learn how to use the pad.
You said you'll learn how to use the pad?
Yeah, because it's integrated into the laptop. So
I don't even know it.
You're talking about.
Interesting. Yeah. But let's just get this party started. Y'all heard that? Everything that happened is motivation.
Yes.
Always motivation, my lovely people. Always motivation. All right, let's just jump right into this thing. The brawl. We doing the hot topics. Let's knock it out. Let's get to it. Hurry up. I don't know who want to speak first. We got Nick, the voice. We got Amber D. Go ahead. Or you want me to tell you what the issue is, the current issue, what's going on, and then go from there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the current issue is you have your vanilla wafers out there. And y'all know me. What do I mean by vanilla wafers for those who's a little delayed? Brown on the outside, white and at heart. Okay? So you got your vanilla wafers that feel like, oh, okay, well, I don't condone violence. Excuse me. I get it. But the violent party was who?
Exactly.
And so now.
That was not violence. That was not violence. That was
response.
That was self-defense.
Yeah, that was a response. And I just find it interesting how the victim lately, that's what's been going on with this whole, like during this cancel culture, the victim ended up being the person at fault. How is this happening?
Yeah. I mean, and I feel like for them to even do that to someone literally doing their job, that's the result of, just no accountability for a very long period of time. A group of people walking around society, with no accountability, no repercussions, and the result is that level of audacity.
Now, here's the thing. There's a problem because we are making memes, and this is not a funny situation. You mad because we're not mad? Like business was handled.
No, and I feel like the problem is that the internet is global, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, the internet is forever. So, and the memes and the jokes are superseding the actual incident itself.
Okay.
And I feel like that was the issue, but, if you got egg on your face for doing something stupid, that's kind of just what it is. And then when you put in all, on the flip side of it, the seriousness of it and the history of it, it's just like, well, I mean, there's no response. Like, you're upset about memes. Well, that's...
You're upset that we're not upset anymore.
Right. I wouldn't even say they're not upset because we're not upset. They're upset because they're a laughing stock, and they're upset because Black people got so much gratification from watching that. I've seen multiple memes where people were saying, "I watch the brawl in the morning," or "I watch the brawl before I go to bed to help me go to sleep."
I didn't see that. That's crazy. But
right. I think that's the issue. The issue is that they don't like that Black people get so much like satisfaction and vindication, and happiness and joy from that violent incident.
All right, let's hear from Nick the Voice.
Child, I was one of the ones sharing the memes. I was definitely satisfied with that. That's what they get. I mean, but my thing is, how you started, but that's always been our history.
Child, you sound like you in the women's bathroom. I'm gonna need you to like go outside. Like I can take the traffic. Over. Like it's like echoey. Like what's really going on, Nikki? Look, they gonna be like, is that why you ain't on the screen? You in the bathroom?
I'm gonna take a walk outside in the park.
There you go. Okay, that's cool. All right, let me know when you're ready to talk, and we're gonna keep it going. Now, the people that I talked to, they felt like, why aren't you still upset? Well, business was handled. I mean, let's be realistic, and not even just looking at it from like a violent situation. And I hate to be the downer, but let's just say like funerals. Let's be real. You're there, you're sad, you mourn your loved one, and then like after the services, you at the repast, and you start thinking back on certain things, and we find the funny. We're resilient people. We find the funny. Prime example, I was at a funeral, and it was a sad moment, obviously, because I'm there, but this singer kept singing, and they sound horrible. So the singing was so bad, and every time they hit a bad note, they started, forgive me, Lord, when they hit a bad note. But all the notes seemed to be bad. So every time they said, forgive me, Lord, it triggered me. And I would start laughing. But I was like laughing quietly,
With subdued laughing.
Yes, but wait a minute. So that you try to keep it down, and you don't need anybody around you to do the, that, because it's going to come out.
Right.
So I'm laughing. I'm like doing this, but I got my head down because I'm trying to...
Well, it looks like you're crying.
Well, so my cousins came to the rescue. Samara and Tammy. Tammy comes with a fan. So it's looking like I'm crying. She comes with a fan. So she fanned me. Samara comes and rubs my back. So now it's making it even more funny. Yeah. So now I got to be escorted out because it's out of control. It's out of control. Oh, wait, so then you got other people that don't know what's going on around us. And they're looking, so I'm looking over, and I see them looking like, I didn't know they was that close. So we had the repass. Listen, rolling about the whole incident where one person was there and they felt like, I don't understand why everybody's laughing and having a good time. But we actually said exactly what happened, but it was like an inside joke. Why are they laughing at a repass? So I guess some people feel like there's a time limit on how long you should be upset and how long you, like, it's so weird. And that was my reason for sharing that. Is there, like, why do we have to have a time limit? Why do people want to put time on how long we should mourn, or you should be upset? Now I'm upset that you're not still upset. Well, we did it. How many times we fought somebody as a child? You fought. It's over. If you won, you lost. Let it go. I'll see you next week.
Right.
You know, we still have to coexist.
Tuesday. Right?
Yeah, we still got to coexist. Ain't nobody sitting there. I'm still going to eat this evening. I ain't that distraught. Like,
right. Well, okay, so in my family we do the celebration of life.
Okay.
So it's the last funeral we had in my family, the person that passed away was a very colorful person. And so they asked everyone in attendance to wear colorful clothing because they enjoyed colorful clothing. That was a part of who they were. And my family were definitely some jokesters. And so, I mean, during when people were speaking, there was jokes made, and then the repast, I mean, it was more like a barbecue. You know, it's a celebration of their life, right? And I feel like it's kind of a cultural thing, a community thing. On the flip side,
where'd you go?
Daddy, I thought that was inappropriate.
What was inappropriate? What did you think? Because I lost you. You said on the flip side.
Baby daddy. Yeah, Jackie O's baby daddy as comments at her funeral were inappropriate. So I understand what people are saying. And frankly, I mean, it seemed like her whole funeral was just unfortunate.
Oh, the one girl who did her thing. But my point is, why are you upset that we are not upset? Do you want us to be sad? Even like they had like the Great Depression. Mm-hmm. We was chilling. It's like, okay, we still can survive.
Yeah.
And is that the problem, that mentally we're not gotten?
Well, I don't even think it's that we're not sad. They're upset that we're not sad. I think they're upset because there are so many Black people are just like relishing in it and enjoying it.
We're happy.
Celebrating. We're happy. We're laughing. You know, there was so much positive response from Black people. I felt like they were like, you shouldn't be happy. You shouldn't be reveling in this.
That's the same thing. Yeah, that we're not upset.
Right, exactly. I mean, or like you shouldn't feel vindicated. Like, why? Who wouldn't feel vindicated?
You know what I think? I'm gonna take it a little bit deeper. I did the shallow part. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't even like cookies, and I'm just eating this oatmeal raisin cookie. I think that actually showed that we're not doing it anymore. And see, these young people said, they had t-shirts, we are not our ancestors.
Okay, I'm not my grandparents, listen.
Right, but then, you know, we watched and waited with George Floyd.
Yeah.
Was not going to sit here, watch and wait for security or police to do what they needed to do.
Well, I think with George Floyd, that was the police apprehending a suspect. These are just citizens.
Nope. Watch it. Watch this. Because some people felt like, it was the whole, and to me too, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. The whole, they was like, the police against police brutality. Yes, we have that issue. But let's be real with the whole police brutality. These are people in uniform. These are people of a different race that did this. So you're looking at that, and it's like, no, I ain't having it. Shout out to Aaron Rudolph, who swam across, jumped off the boat like bam. Now, you got one or two things. That's a coworker, so you'll help a coworker. But let me tell you something about working. That is, when you're dealing with coworkers, I think that's the only place as a coworker where you have 3 generational space.
Okay.
Like, and they be your best friend. I was like, oh, that was Aaron's work bestie. You know, you'd be like,
yeah.
Where Mr. Earl? He ain't got here today. You know what I'm saying? And you kick it with your people. I got some at the job. And they be cracking me right up. They be like, where you been? I ain't seen you. You all right? You know? And it's a different generation. And I said, oh, he was going over there like, oh, this is not about to go down.
I mean, he was getting jumped, literally. Like, he was getting stomped out before the cavalry came. He was getting stomped out.
Right. And to sit there, I think, yes, and that was so funny because they when they called him Aquaman, I hollered. I said, that's what I'm talking about. But let me say this, though. Some people felt like, oh, my goodness, they jumped in. Well, yeah, you're going to jump in because I felt it was disrespectful. If I was there.
I mean, no.
First of all, how you going to think it's okay to jump, my brother? I don't care who I know. Have you ever been out of town and then somebody be like, oh, where you from? And they from the hometown. Guess what? Y'all don't even know each other. But I got you. It's like a given.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, it's a coworker thing because I've had this experience twice. Because I've worked with the public, and yeah, it's definitely a boundary where someone will threaten a coworker. I'm like, oh, guess we finna fight today.
Okay.
Okay, that's what's going down.
Okay, let me get ready.
Because I do think it takes a level of audacity to sit here and threaten someone while they're on the clock. Like, sir, ma'am, I'm doing my job. You know, and it's like, you know what? Let me respond to that by, punching you in the face or whatever, or threatening to physically harm you. And it's like, no, we got to come together because we got to make sure that the public understands this will not happen.
And see, I agree with Derek Clark on Facebook. We all we got. And that's how it is. Like when you out somewhere, that's why, let me tell you something. Even if I came with you, that's why I be tripping and asking who all over there. I think that's why people be asking who all over there. Yeah. Real talk. Because it matters. It's like, do I even want to even deal with this situation? Probably not. Who all over there? Nope, I'm not even coming because I don't need that energy. Or if you going out, who all going? Because I'm going to have a good time. But if I know that this one start a whole bunch of mess, I'm not trying to be in. I ain't trying to fight. I'm trying to just have a good time. Mm-hmm. So those things matter. I don't see Nick yet. I'm waiting on her to call back.
Yeah. I also wanted to, I something else I saw was how people were saying, oh, the chair guy. And I'm like, I mean, the chair is I would support it being inducted into Black History Museum.
It should have been a long time ago. Well, with the inventor.
Exactly. And they were like, oh, he should not hit her upside the head when she was sitting down. She was one of the main ones in there. And especially in the Black community, we talk about how Black women want to sit here and go toe-to-toe with men and act like they're men and want to assault men. You want to sit here and put your hands on men, you're going to get treated like a man. You want to sit here and jump into a brawl.
That's how it is.
You might get hit.
Might.
You're a woman.
Listen.
Equal rights, equal
listen,
rights.
I loved LaShawn and Renee that came and was like, we got her.
Yeah.
Bam, they was like, oh, we got her. But wait a minute. Carla Lee Facebook said, yes, if you see someone out of town and find out we from the same place, it's an instant connection. It is.
Yes.
It is. Now, if you're going to have a fair fight, have a fair fight. But when you jumping in something, you think you're going to jump.
Right.
I don't think anybody could actually watch somebody else do that because even the white young man that tried to jump in, and you see they pushed him out the way immediately. Exactly. When he was trying to break it up.
A coworker, and he immediately tried to, intercede.
Right, but wait. The dude, after the fight was over, I mean, everybody at the house, he came and hit that woman with that chair while she was on the ground. Wait, did you see that one? Wait a minute. She was on the ground. Even they zoomed in on her face. Her face was like, I'm at the house laying in the bed and here come a chair. It was over. Let me tell you, I laughed because I said that must have been for all the Karens. It must have been like built up, like all the Karens,
right,
all over y'all that got on my nerves. Bam, here you go. So they arrested him, but that was the funniest thing because I was lost too. Like everybody sitting down in their corners, like breathing, and he just came over and was like, bam. She was like,
no, I mean, the first two people he hit with the chair were standing up.
Oh, I got that, but I'm talking about the lady in the red dress sitting down.
But she, in the beginning, she was a part of jumping the security guard.
I understand.
Captain.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But at that moment, so like when you in the moment, you like boom, boom, boom. But like I said, he did. I'm looking at the comments. Carla Lee on Facebook said, I was like, he hit her hard. Listen, he hit her so hard. That's why I said that was for every Karen. Every Karen around the world. Let me see. Derek Clark of Facebook said, if your vibe and energy are good, you will connect with anyone who has the same type of energy. And that's true. Now, if I don't know what's going on, and I think that's probably why a lot of people with the George Floyd incident, I know they didn't want to jump in because it was the police business and not knowing what happened prior, right or wrong. How often have we actually stepped up and somebody was dead wrong? Yeah. So we don't know. But this situation, they were dead wrong. And then you sit there and these vanilla wafers talking about you trying to defend. Guess what? Why don't you go right where they are? How about that? Because them days is done and over with. See you. Bye. And my thing is, before that, there was a video out probably 2 days before that incident occurred. I don't know if you guys seen it. I'm going to tell you the girl's name because I couldn't believe what her name was. I was like, for real? It was a white guy and he slapped her. It was videoed. And it was a white man, actually. He just out there, they're going back and forth, and he just hauled off and slapped her. Let me tell you, she slapped him back so hard, he spent and fell. Her friends said, her friends called her name. They was like, Sharkeisha. I said, not Sharkeisha. That's where I was stuck at.
That was a meme from many years ago.
Right. I was like, that's this baby's name?
Sharkeisha, because that's what I say.
Listen, I couldn't believe that was like her name. He probably should have said, ma'am, what's your name before this altercation start?
Yeah.
He probably should have said that, and then it would have been like, oh, okay. Well, I ain't gonna fool with you. But that happened, it was a few days prior. And then I remember watching the one where the lady was in Victoria's Secrets. It was not Victoria's Secret, Bath and Body Works, the candle sale. And it was a black woman there. In line, the white chick come up. And she gonna just push her like it's okay. See, this all started, I with Nick on this one, because she'll tell y'all done lost y'all mind when 45 came in.
Right, and oh my goodness, I told y'all about Black Friday last year. What happened to Black Friday when I was at Target. And I said, all I did was cuss her out in front of everybody. Because I would have knocked her upside her head. Yeah, so it's definitely a level of audacity.
Yeah, you did tell us about your Black Friday incident. That was like crazy. Like people are nuts.
You got a lot of nerve. Like you can get these lefts and these rights.
Okay, I'm trying to read. You want to read Derek Clark's? Go ahead.
So Derek Clark of Facebook said, "I think if the George Floyd situation would have happened in the South, it wouldn't have happened, in my opinion.
Okay,
or it wouldn't have got any news coverage."
Listen, I was happy that this was on the boat. They like the one white girl, they got her clip because I did, you know what, let me say this. Shout out to you, Roland Martin, because he got the footage from the very beginning where it wasn't an incident and it was a white lady recording talking about, I hope they give him a big fat ticket. He just parked his boat so you can hear how it went.
Well, and I think it was a casino boat. There was they said there was like 300 passengers on there waiting to get off, but they couldn't because their boat was blocking their park.
Oh, well, yeah, that's the Harriet Tubman boat. I guess it's like, a little cruise type thing, but it was silly because on hers, everybody telling them to move, they start singing Ludacris, move, B, get out the way. Yeah. I said, listen, we know we'll have a party. We're resilient people. However, if it was me on that boat, I would have been panicking. Because I don't fool with no boats. I don't go on nobody's cruise. The last cruise, you see what happened. But we coming with it, right, Nick?
You got that right.
I was wondering, I wonder how Nick is feeling in Texas. How would you feeling in Texas, Nick? How would you feeling up there? Oh, well, where are you at? Texas, over there in Texas.
Hey, girl, I was mad. I was like, over here looking at these video kitchen like, listen, but it was the classic F around and find out.
That's it. Now, I'm with Derek.
These folks is mad because we not mad, but they also mad because we capitalizing off of it. You see all these people selling T-shirts. My cousin selling T-shirts. A bunch of people made T-shirts. We're capitalizing off of that, so they don't like that. They're upset about that.
Well, they probably
upset. But this is what we've been having to put up with it all these years. You start something, we finish it, we in the wrong.
And that's why I got a problem with the vanilla wafers. I'm like, how you going to make the victim the problem? Because we are not sad. Like, we're just not. Now, I got to read this here comment because this is good. I'm with you. It must be that Virgo energy, Derek, where it's us black people just tired of the disrespect. I felt that it was disrespectful that you going to jump him in front of a whole bunch of black people and think ain't nothing going to happen. Yeah, see, that's where I was at. Like, how you going to, like, you thought it was okay. Like, y'all really think you got that much power that we just going to sit there and say, and come to you and be like, oh, okay, yes, massa. No, bye.
You know what? The truth is, previous years, that would have been the case. It's not like they came up with that attitude out of nowhere and without context and without history. In the past, yeah, black people would have just sat there. And that's the truth.
Right. They talking about some are and especially where it was at, because that's where they sold slaves.
Exactly.
Carla Lee said, right? Carla Lee said, they said our ancestors' spirit rose up that day and was like, Listen, this is a whole different generation. I ain't mad at them. The ones out there marching with the Black Lives Matter, I ain't mad. I ain't mad at none of it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let me tell you.
What they need to realize is we are not our ancestors.
Well, that's what them babies been saying. And I ain't mad at it.
We are not our ancestors at all.
I'm not mad at it.
But these hands now.
But you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say this because they're trying to pull our history out. Remember down in Florida, I talked about that, taking it off the education curriculum. And they're adding in American Asian. They're taking African American out of the schools, off the school's curriculum, and putting in Asian American. I said, oh, no, this is interesting. This is real interesting. Because they don't want you to know your history, but we need to know, let me say this, we need to know our history, but our history didn't start with slavery. So that was a plan to make you think that you just come from slavery, which is not true. I ain't going to give you no history lesson. I hated history. I can't believe Mr. Holford in my head like that, because I hated history. I did. But we came from kings and queens. And I have to say that some of the stuff that they don't know, and they like, oh, who came from slavery? Oh, okay, that's what y'all came from slavery. Well, this is this new generation. I came and I had a good life, and this ain't going down. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So what was grammed in our minds as far as like even, you know, working the fields, and when I say our, because it's our blood that's there. You know, and it's like, we done picked cotton, we done did this. This generation coming up was like, I ain't picked no cotton. I hear you, and I totally understand. So guess what? I ain't about to pick no cotton. So I appreciate that, because there was conversations that we've had like 10 years ago, and we've heard this saying, if you don't know your history, you're bound to repeat it, that we're going right back into slavery. As of this brawl, I think not. They fighting to the end.
It's going to be a whole fight if they try. And I still can't get over the fact that they're like literally trying to get rid of Black history. But guess what? Now it's up to the parents to start teaching Black history at home. And you're right.
It's very important.
Not only about the slavery, but they need to teach them that we were kings and queens. And that is why them folks is mad at us.
Okay, let me say this. Shout out to Pat Rudolph. That's my mother. You hear the coalition? The swimmer, Aquaman, Aaron Rudolph. We from Alabama. But anyway, I'm like, okay, do it. Make that name look good. Tico Trent on Facebook said, I had just got finished watching Emmett Till when the fight came across my feed. When I tell you, I was cheering like it was a fourth quarter comeback. Okay, especially, okay. Look, I know that's right. And see, that's where my problem is at. When you had that woman, she finally said she lied. Okay, so were we vindicated?
No. not legally, and then not socially either,
and not mentally, because you got away with it.
She got away with it, and if they was trying to do right, they would have put her old ass in jail for the 2 years she was still alive.
Okay.
Linked up to a hospital bed, roll her ass into the prison cell in the hospital bed with an IV. I don't give a damn. If she only lived for 30 more days, she should have spent them 30 days in prison.
Shout out to all the people listening. I see the numbers. I thank you guys. And if you want to hear some of the comments, you could go to the YouTube channel at Shop Talk with Mel, and you can read some of the comments. I'm trying to read them as they go along so that you guys don't miss anything, but I'm loving it. Over 1,000 listeners right now. Derek Clark said, pick your own car and get somebody else to do it. Real talk, because you got to do your own. But when we talk about that situation as far as like the victim, why the victim is being at fault. And that's what's happening with the world. They're trying to change it where the victim is not the victim now. The victim is the one who caused the whole issue. It don't work like that. Did you see Tory Lane, 10 years with Megan Thee Stallion?
Yeah, so y'all remember how because I shared it on the show, how I injured my foot last year. And so I started on a barefoot journey to heal my foot and strengthen the muscles in my foot.
Okay.
It took a year for my foot to heal. And I still get little shoots of pain sometimes. And that wasn't no daggone bullet or bullet fragments. You know what I'm saying? So I think people, first of all, the people that are sitting here feeling sorry for Tory Lanez, I guess you think just getting shot is like not a big deal or something? Like, the heck?
Here's my thing. He's still saying that he didn't do it, but in the court of public opinion, they said you did. She said you did, and you told her to dance. We know that. I mean, what's that, a scene from Harlem Nights?
Yeah.
Like, quit playing. And my thing, you got a gun. You figure 10 years is a whole lot. You shot her. You can't tell people how long. And people were saying, that is pretty excessive. Okay,
until you don't have mobility, until you don't have a body part that you need to work properly, you don't get to say, it wasn't that bad. Like,
but that's where the person, you caused the pain, where you're trying to make, she's the victim. Why is he becoming the victim? Oh, that was pretty excessive. Excuse me? You shot her. I'm not diminishing how you felt when you injured your foot. But what I am saying is you had a gun and you shot somebody. The end. And they were like, well, they're just using him as an example because he's a celebrity. Well, use him as an example. Tell anybody else. Don't be shooting people and thinking it's okay. I don't even care what it was about, real talk. I don't. You shot somebody. I'm glad she went through with it. Press charges. Okay, and now you want to get mad at her because she was the victim. I'm like, what is wrong with people?
She didn't follow through with it.
The state.
The state.
Yeah, they did.
Through with it. So they mad at Megan when Megan didn't even pursue it. The state did. So go blame the state. Listen,
you shoot me, I don't even care. I'm following through with it all the way through. You pop me in the eye with a paper clip. I'm following through with it. I don't care. So don't fool with me because I'm calling the authorities. Real talk. I ain't handling it. Like, they was like, okay, from the streets handle the streets. I ain't from the streets.
Me either.
I'm telling.
Singing like a canary.
Right. So I'm singing like the Georgia Mass Choir. So don't do nothing around me, okay?
Right.
I'm like, this is too much. Let's see, what do we have here? Comment. Why pull a gun on a woman anyway? That's cowardly. Now tell me to, look, say that.
She is bigger than him.
Who cares?
I'm just.
She wasn't even assaulting him.
Right. To me, it sounded like it was emotions and ego. So.
And guess what? Your emotion. And that's what happened with a whole bunch of people y'all know where I'm from, that's at Todd's. Emotion and ego. Everything that occurs is out of emotion and ego. That's why it's good to make good decisions. Is this decision that you're going to make right now going to affect you tomorrow? Well, he had a few days off, but it affected him in the latter years. And they were saying that he probably won't do the whole 10 years because the prisons are crowded.
Right.
So, come on. She is still, I don't care how big, you got some big women out there like Rasputia. Yeah. So let's look at Rasputia and Norbit. And Norbit just go shoot her for no reason. Because she was like, you got a girlfriend now. Remember that? She was like, do you have a girlfriend? He said, no. She's like, well, you do now. So she just bullied, Debo'd him in. You know what I'm saying? But you just cannot do that. Just walk away. And yes, Derek Clark at Facebook said, emotions have a lot of people locked up or dead.
Yep.
True.
Yes, absolutely.
True. Out of emotion. Then you think about it, be like, it wasn't even that serious.
Serious, exactly. And I think a lot of it is that in some circles, having a control over your emotions is seen, or being disciplined in your emotions and in your response is seen as weakness, especially with men.
Interesting.
And then you end up in prison.
All right, let's go here. The state of Florida, there's some schools now, I'm sure all of them probably going to just jump on the bandwagon, are requiring a permission slip to call someone by their nickname.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on that? What do you think the real deal is?
Well, to have a different gendered name request to be called by a different gender name. I think that's the real root of it.
What you got, Nick?
It's crazy. I mean, but then again, you do have some people who go to school and don't want to answer to their name. They only answer. But to have a permission slip to be called by your nickname.
So y'all, I need y'all to call me Melanie.
You know these rules.
And y'all can't call me Melanie, or you need a permission slip from your parent to call me Mel. Like, that's crazy. Y'all can't call Nick, the voice. Nope. You got to call her by her government name. We're going to leave it alone. Can't do Amber D. You got to call her by your government name there. But no. Like, this is crazy. And I feel you. I'm with you. We know what it's really about in the state of Florida. We don't want,
and even
we don't want you born Todd and we call me Amanda. They ain't trying to do it.
They ain't doing it. Yeah, and I feel like, so it is what it is. But in response to this and to the Montgomery brawl, I think the solution is, again, us getting into positions of power, getting into, office to make the rules, to make changes, and to protect our history and, protect our own interests as a community.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about Neil. Neil and his comment that he was not apologizing for his opinion on children having sex changes before 18.
I think it's...
do you guys know about that, or should I bring it? Let me talk to the listeners real quick and let them know. Okay, so Neil had, he put a post up, and he was saying that before a sex change should occur, they need to be adults. So the 18 is legally, you're considered an adult to make your own decision. So that's why he said 18. And then the Twitters came after him, and they said, people, oh, you're anti. Why you got to be anti? Because you have a thought or an opinion like everybody else. Your opinion if my opinion doesn't agree with your opinion, then I'm anti. Not true. And that's sad because you're doing the exact same thing that you didn't want done to you, but you're doing it to me. Exactly. So Neil actually, he did a little, like a live, and he said, I'm not apologizing on my thoughts of how I feel as far as like children before you have a sex change, be over 18. You make that decision. But if I'm a parent, I'm not having it. He said, I am a parent of 3 boys, and if that's what they choose to do, they're going to have to be adults. I'm not mad at him, and I agree with him, and I can appreciate the fact that he did not backpedal, and he stood on what he said.
Yes, and I feel like it is another shift in the culture where it's like the whole backpedaling thing, is starting to look, like spineless and undesirable. And if you have a feeling or thought, just stick with what your beliefs are, even if other people try to, shame you for not being in agreement with them. Mm-hmm.
And that's sad. So to me, that's just shutting you up this is what I hear. I have an opinion. I say it, and now we're going to do the whole cancel culture. And then you go back and you say, you backpedal. I hear, shut up, boy, and comply.
Right.
That's what's in my mind. And it's like, what is happening here?
Well, I feel like they're just, I feel like with the minors and the sex change and stuff, I just feel like, everything is going to work itself out. And I predict that as we do more research and we have more dialogue and more people that have detransitioned get to have a platform and speak about their experiences, it's going to come back to what it originally was, which is a mental health issue.
Let me tell you this. I want to tell you this real quick because I don't want to pass it up. So I saw a video where a guy went and got some folding chairs at a store. I don't want to say the store's name, but y'all know it's red. And he had to show his license like he was buying some cigarettes for a folding chair. I said, I cannot. Yeah, I'm sure y'all see that video. He did the video. I was like, is this for real? And folding chairs have been sold out. I was looking for some folding chairs. I was like, okay, let me see. I said, for real? Y'all sold out? For real?
Because that's how we are, Petty. So I told you I'm waiting for the folding chair.
I'm going to have to go to a church. I'm going to have to go to a church and get the wooden ones. And them things will fold up on you so quick. I said, I'm having a party and I ain't got no folding chairs.
Yeah.
Because now, Patty. I was like, well, can I borrow some of y'all? Are y'all, if you invited and you got some folding chairs, just bring them, BYOC, bring your own chair.
Right.
That's right. The folding chairs is the new weapon. And also I wanted to go here because a lot of people's like, he threw his hat in the air. What does that mean? That has always been the siren. A black man in his hat. A black man will not part with his hat unless he's in church. And that hat is sitting right next to him or on his lap or going into somebody's house. That hat is there forever. Even the B-boy hats. What? You rid your hat? That is the equivalence of hold my purse.
Exactly. That's how I took it as like, and somebody else said it, they interpreted him tossing his hat like, I'm off the clock right now.
Like, it's over. He done. Like, boom, I didn't care about this job.
Yeah.
Take
off your earrings. He took off his earrings.
Yep.
He took his purse down. He took his high heels off, and he was like, okay, let's scrap.
Right.
That's how I took it.
And that's exactly it. And that has always been. That's why I was like, they was like, he summons. I was like, man, listen, anytime you see that, you already know, oh, it's about to go down.
But even if he didn't throw his hat, he summons nothing because ain't nobody in their clear conscience that got a conscience gonna sit there and just watch.
Oh, right, you're not.
Some of these young ones, they like to, world store. They don't do world star anymore, but they might as well because you still got people with their phones. But it's a good thing that they do have their phones, so you can.
Yeah, some of them that did watch.
But ain't nobody with a conscience gonna sit there and see a bunch of white people jump a black man for doing his job.
Well, when he threw his hat,
because I'd have been out there swinging too.
Okay, but when he threw his hat, that was before the jump. When he threw his hat was when dude boom. And that hat says, I'm telling you, if his hat was still on, it was still under control. Because remember, he had his hat on talking, boop, 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 boop. When the hat came off, it was like, boom, it's over. I'm done. Like, I don't even care about this job. Bye. Direct your own boats. It's over. Bye. And then the problem, I got to add this too. Y'all have to, the lady who owned it, she terminated them. I was like, okay, you don't even know the situation, but you terminated everybody for what? Defending themselves? And they trying to keep your business afloat. So I really would hope, and I ain't calling for no boycott or nothing like that, but we got the power.
I'm calling for a boycott. If they got fired up and you live in there.
The views of Amber D is the views of Amber D and not of those on Shop Talk with Mel. Just want to be clear. But would you say you call, like, be smart about it though? I would think that you would be smart and be like, okay, you firing. Nope. Here we go. What y'all need to get to your next job? Because I'm sure if I had a company and I'm looking at this just how it went off, like, okay, you coming, you defended your coworker. This went down. It just went down like a bar brawl. That's what it was.
Right.
And I want to tell you about Nick, because Nick was talking about the women in there fighting, and you want to be with. Listen, that's how they be in the bar. That's why I'm fool in white bars. I'll be like, nope. My homegirl be like, come through. I said, heck no. I can't, especially when you don't know how to hold your liquor. And I did go out with her one time. Listen, I was sitting there cleaning up everything because of how she was. The people, and not literally cleaning up. I was like letting them know. I was like, she apologized. Because people were, it's different. That liquor don't hit people right.
Exactly.
Some people, they can't handle it and they just get belligerent. And I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to have a good time. Right. And then, as I'm talking to the people as she's walking by, I'm like, don't. As I'm taking her home, they was like, okay. Like, everybody just want to have a good time. She's spilling her drink all on the people. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
So, some people just don't know. All right, we got, look, there you go. He with you, Amber. Amber D got a fan base. That's like, I'm with you. But I'm not going to spend my money somewhere.
We talk about this. What do? You got to put your money where your mouth is.
Uh-huh.
And guess what? Other groups of people do the exact same thing.
Absolutely.
But it'll be a silent boycott. They just be like, oh, okay, well, we don't mention them no more.
There you go.
People defending themselves and this is not just this company. It's so many companies that expect employees to get whooped on by customers and not do nothing and not respond.
I was listening to my boy Q. I love Q. Funky Daniva. And he was like, because the people who started it, the ones whose boat was, they own a grocery store. He talking about something. Go over there and drop your Snicker wrapper in their parking lot. Talk about some litter. I hollered. I said, oh my gosh. It's like, yep, if you got pop cans, just go ahead and just finish your pop and drop it.
Yeah. I mean, no. And like I said, other communities do that. But it'll be like a silent boycott. Where it's just like, don't support that business no more because they did us grimy.
Right. So, let's talk about the 10-year-old daughter who had leukemia. And she always wanted to be married. So her parents agreed to have her get married in a wedding ceremony. And then she eventually passed away.
Legally?
Do you agree or disagree with that? With just the thought of it. Let's start with that.
I think the thought is fine.
Now, what about the husband? The 5th grade husband, he is a widow.
But legally, no.
Like, be like, oh, I've been married once. Ceremony. I feel bad for the little husband. I was like, he can't get no Social Security. Like, it was just a gesture. But, yeah, I thought it was a nice thing. I said, oh, they just gave, her wish.
Right.
And then
a dying wish.
A dying wish. And that boy got to go to school talking about I just lost my wife.
Oh.
Like, I know, right? What you going to do?
Oh, God. I mean, it's so sad.
It is.
What happened to the simple? Your dying wish. On to Disney World. She said, I want to get married.
But she said she wanted to get married. But you know what that said to me? That said that she was brought up in a loving home. That she wanted that because she probably saw how her dad was treating her mom. Like, I thought it was awesome. I don't know if it was a ceremony or legally, and I'm hoping that both parents just said, ceremony. I'm hoping it was just a ceremony. Wayne Brady decided he wanted to tell everybody his personal business.
Oh, I heard about that.
He came out and said he's pan.
Ain't nobody surprised.
Pansexual.
I saw a meme that said Wayne Brady said everybody can get it.
Right, everybody can get it. See, I told y'all that's just greedy. That's just greedy. Y'all sitting there like, boom. So he came out, and I guess pansexual is like a vibe. Like that's all I can explain. How I can explain pansexual. But my thing is, Why was it necessary? Like, was somebody trying to talk to you and you was like, okay, I like this person, that person. Yeah, there you go. He said, Wayne Brady just like people. Okay. Because you know, if you, listen here, y'all all greedy out there like that. Y'all already know the limits. Because if y'all start messing with them animals, it's over. It's over. Y'all, go ahead. What you got, Amber D?
I mean, low-key, I feel like it was a distraction. And it was, because ain't nobody cares, sir. First of all. Second of all, we could tell. All right. Third of all, there is way more bigger fish to fry than who you want to, do the
sleep with, ma'am.
Okay? We don't care. So, like, why are you sharing this?
And that's what's so strange.
In this
why,
moment.
Right. Why are you sharing it? Should you, at this moment? Vanilla wafer? Like for real, you trying to what? Distractive. Come on.
Yeah, that's how I took it out, because ain't nobody care. And like I said, if you actually paid attention to him, you can tell.
And I only covered it just to let y'all know. Now let me tell y'all what's new coming down, and this is before this incident, but I gotta tell you. They are, you heard they, air quotes for the listening audience, saying that racism is a mental illness.
Okay, they're trying to pretend everything is mental illness. Road rage is a mental illness. Racism is a mental illness.
Like
what else?
Right. Just like they're trying to classify molesters as a mental illness. You remember we talked about that? Mm-hmm. So now you want to say racism is a mental illness. Racism is a learned behavior.
Right.
So
I wouldn't even say it's a learned behavior. It's a social.
Like you said, it's learned.
It's something that has social and economical impact. This is a tangible, real life thing.
But it's learned.
It's just in your head.
No, it's learned. Because if you are in that family, so it's the same thing. It's a cultural thing. This is what we do. It's learned. You learn to be that way. That's why I'm like, this is a learned behavior. And you are not getting ready to say and pat you on the back and be like, oh, it's a mental illness. You need to just take some meds and you'll be fine. No, we are not doing that. Not at my expense.
Not only that, I'm thinking like practical application of racism, right? Which is all I care about. Like if someone's bigoted in their heart and in their feelings, who cares? But if it's impacting my paycheck, my ability to have a quality of life, that's where the problem comes in. And if you identify it as a mental illness, now it's a protected status because you can't discriminate in hiring people or terminating people basis on if they are struggling with a mental illness. So I think that's very problematic.
It is extremely problematic, and you are not going to. Okay. You are not going to verbally and emotionally abuse me as a black woman in the name of mental illness.
Right.
Ain't happening.
Right.
Yeah.
So get out of here. Let's see. Nathan W. of YouTube said they can't monetize it unless it has a name. Get out of here. You know exactly what it is. Somebody Vanilla Wafer had the nerve to say that I had a meme where it was the Wheel of Fortune. And it had, the blank, and I put on there, I like to solve the puzzle, Pat. And it's effed around and found out. And somebody commented under, they said, this will cause a race war. Ma'am, listen, wait, watch this though. Ma'am, how old are you? We've been in this. A race war? Like, huh?
And you know what? For real talk, people who say that are the ones that are afraid.
Exactly.
You got a lily liver. You a coward. You a runner and you're spineless. When you don't have anything to defend or protect, that's when you're like, oh, this could cause a conflict. No, let the conflict come.
They don't care.
Exactly, because they surely don't care.
They started it. Like, get out of here. You start something. It's finished. Bye.
Yeah.
The end. Let's talk about the Twitter wars that's going on. Roland Ray and Sexy Red. Girl.
Not Sexy Red. I thought it was Roland Ray and Doja Cat.
No, well, he be getting at it with everybody. But Sexy Red was the one that Drake was kissing the last time. She real thin and stuff. Mm-hmm. Girl, Roland Ray. For the people that don't know Roland Ray, y'all gotta like Google him. He in a wheelchair. That's why they call him Roland Ray. He had the nerve. She put on there. The whole tweet was whack to me. It said, "I got the STD. All I need is you." She said, "I hear you looking for a stud. I got the STD. I'm only looking. What did it say? All I need is you." I'm sitting there like a STD. You ain't finding me, girl. I'm gone. Like, no, thank you. But anyway, that's what she put. Roland Ray said, and I'm saying it in his voice, which is so funny. Talking about, you look terrible. Now, Roland Ray telling you look terrible. Oh, and then he said, because she had a picture with a stack of money. He's like, you still taking pictures with that same stack of money? Girl, I hollered. I said, well, at least she's safe. So anyway, she was like, you need a new wheelchair. And that's all that she could actually say. Let's be realistic. Because the Twitter people would have ate her up because he's physically disabled. Mm-hmm. So what's your thoughts on that, where you have physically disabled people out here showing out, can say what they want to say, but we can't give it back to them?
No, because if you're...
we
talked about this.
Listen, if you can give it, you can take it.
You talking about the handicap, Nick, the voice?
You got doggone right, because they going to say something about me, I'm going to say something back.
Okay.
Listen, you get no sympathy here. If you want sympathy, then you act accordingly. If you out here throwing your behind, cutting up, and think that's going to give you a pass to talk about somebody, and can't nobody retaliate, get right back at you. You looking for sympathy from the wrong one, because I'm going to tear your butt up.
Okay, she coming with it. Well, Nate said if you come to the fight, be ready to fight. Real talk.
Exactly. Like, you don't get no pass. If you know you're in a wheelchair, you got a smart mouth that you like to talk about people, please expect to get talked about back. And should nobody be like, oh, that's a shame, they in the wheelchair, this and that. And they know they're in a wheelchair, so act accordingly. If you want to cut up, we can cut up all the way.
Okay, well, Nick says she fight disabled. She don't discriminate. You come with it, expect to get some retaliation. All right, I ain't mad, but it makes you wonder, like, so we're supposed to just take the abuse? Because that's what's happening with, like, everything now. You take what I give you, but don't give me nothing. No. Right. So the bullied are becoming the bullies.
Yep.
Where is there a happy medium? Where do we like stop and say, okay, we're not doing this anymore? All right, next up, we got, there was a viral video of a woman walking through a wedding on the beach. So the video went viral because this woman just walked right through the wedding ceremony. She was a seasoned woman. When I mean seasoned, I mean seasoned with a whole, just seasoned. So she was elderly and she was on the beach. This wedding was in a public place. Why are they upset that she walked through the wedding?
I mean, if they wanted it, if they didn't want anybody to walk through the wedding, they should have had security or appointed a couple people as security and like asked them to like walk around or whatever. But yeah, that's what happens when you have an event in a public place. It can happen.
I really don't think that she realized what was going on.
I would not be surprised at all if she was like,
no, whatever.
Wait, one at a time. Hold on, Nick. Would you say Amber D?
I would not be surprised at all if she wasn't fully cognizant of what was happening.
Okay, go ahead, Nick.
I'm just saying, common courtesy. That's what it's called. Like, yeah, they should have had, their area roped off, but if you walking on a beach and you see a bunch of people gather and you see a bride and groom, common sense ought to tell you to go around, period. It's not for common sense. Sometimes people do stuff out of spite.
I don't think that when I looked at the video, I don't think she realized that. And I'm going to be honest, the bride and the groom didn't look like your typical bride and groom.
Ooh. Well.
I did see, it was a lot of people standing. I didn't even see chairs, I don't think.
They didn't even have chairs?
No, I don't think I saw chairs. They sold out of the foam chairs. They can't even get them on the beach.
What I'm saying is, if you see a lot of people standing, then you know something's going down. So you want to go around.
See, I disagree with that.
I don't know, and I feel like I agree with what Nick is saying. Most people walk around, but I also feel like something that's very common with the elderly population is loneliness. So if they have an opportunity to come like rub shoulders with other people, even though they're strangers, I guess some kind of I don't know if you ever had that, where they kind of latch on to strangers in public.
That's so nice.
And so I feel like.
Now I'm gonna
go. Elderly person.
Now I'm gonna give you another outlook. I'm going Nick's side, Nick the voice side.
Okay.
She probably could have seen what was going on and just went, because these elderly people are pretty cantankerous now. Let me tell you something. They will hit your car and run. Listen, I'm not making this up.
Licenses.
Wait a minute. Let me tell you, my whole the side view mirror on the passenger side came off. You know you hit my car. It was parked.
Oh, Lord.
My car get damaged by elderly people. I'm telling you. And then they act like, wait, what? Yeah, ma'am, sir, you don't need to be driving. Sorry.
Right. And that's ego. Because they're not ready to release their keys. They can't accept that, hey, you're to that point in life where you don't need to be behind the wheel.
But you can't do people any type of way and just think like, okay, well, I'm in the name of I'm elderly.
Yeah, no. That's why, I know a lot of people are supporting having an age limit on licenses.
An age limit? I say they need to be mentally cognizant of what's happening and what's going on.
Go from they have to do a physical driver's test like every year.
Now that's good. Well, who gonna get in the car with the old people? Talking about go around this block, turn left, maneuver. I'd be in the car with a helmet. They'll be like, "Mel, you gotta go take Miss Josephine on her physical driving test." I'm throwing my hat. Boom, that's it. I'm done.
Right.
Depending on how she walked into the DMV.
Yeah.
They'll be like, "What?" I'll be like, "Bam, I'm ready. Strapping on my helmet."
But no, seriously, like every year, because the older they get, the likelihood of they're just not able to drive a vehicle. So like after the age of 70, you have to start getting a test every year.
They should actually have vehicles. They should have them vehicles when they teach you how to drive where you got the brake on your side.
Yeah.
Once they do that, then I'll be all right. I'll be like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, but I think the instructors do that, and then I know in some places.
Not when you get your driver's license, because you go with your vehicle.
Right. I know some places they have like a different color license plate, so other drivers can like be extra aware. Like, oh, this one's like 90.
One of my friends, like, so I'm 16, right? One of my friends went to go get their driver's. One of their friends went to go get their driver's test, and they wanted to use my car. Now I had a Chevette. A gray Chevette that I ain't never washed. They used to be like, my friends would be like, here come this gray cloud of depression, because I wouldn't wash it, okay? But wait, so she used my car, and she got mad at me because she went to the DMV. So as soon as she put it in reverse, ma'am, ain't nobody tell you to put it in reverse that hard. So my gear on the ground. Now, listen, I'm 16. We was driving hoopties. We wasn't like this new day 16-year-old with the brand new cars. So she put it in reverse. the gear was in her hand. Like, I told her to practice beforehand. But she like, bam, you can't pull it that hard. She said, wait. It was in her hair. But it was loose. You know the little knob thingy?
Yeah.
That was like loose, but I knew it because it was my car. I told her to practice ahead of time. Oh, no, I'm be all right. Okay, when you go, you throw it in reverse. And when you go to put it in reverse, bam, it's in your hand. She said the lady was like this with the patch, marking a whole bunch of stuff. Was like, go ahead, put it apart. And she had to get out. Listen,
did I put my life at risk today?
Didn't even get to pull out the parking lot. That was it, man. I hollered, and she ain't think it was funny. I thought it was hilarious. You should have practiced. I told you to practice. But if that would be me, honestly, if that thing came out, boom, I'd be like, yep, that's it. Go ahead, you can go ahead and meet me back in. Dad didn't get to the street. We had raggedy cars back then, but hey, gotta do what you gotta do. Let's talk about, let's see where we at. Floyd Mayweather. Now, if you know Floyd, you know that he's one that don't say everything that he does for people. And I really like that about him. And he's pretty much like, I don't need accolades for doing good. That's what it was. And I thought that was pretty cool. What he did, he helped almost 70 families impacted by the Hawaii wildfires.
Oh, wow.
He did. He flew them to safety, shelter, food, and clothes. Got that thing going. And that's what, let me tell you something. Floyd, money making Mayweather, he does it. And nobody sees that part because he don't like it. But it leaked. And when it leaked, I'm leaking it. I'm like, bam, that's how I'm able to report on it. So I'm excited about that. Now, they had where Oprah helped some other people, too. I thought it was just cool because they said over 100 families were affected by it.
Wow.
Now, here I am with that. You see they have that news coverage. I ain't telling y'all to open y'all eyes, but open them. They had the news coverage, so we actually saw the wildfires in Hawaii. California wildfires, we actually saw the wildfires. Canada, I have not seen a wildfire. Have you? But they tell us stay in the house, stay in the house because you affected all the way in Ohio with these wildfires. Stay in the house. I'm like, what y'all really doing? Because this is my problem. Canada fires, stay in the house in this area, but when in East Palestine, and we know it was a chemical. We seen it. They tell me something. 100 miles. You're safe if you're 100 miles away. So Canada is affecting us. But East Palestine, which is across the street, wasn't? If you're 100 miles away. Make that make sense.
Mm-hmm. They was protecting that.
Like you guys haven't heard anything about the Texas wildfires either. We have wildfires down here in Austin and one other place.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
See? How you doing? Y'all hot down there?
Hawaii, yeah.
Y'all hot down there, huh?
Child,
What's the temp?
Right now it's 89 degrees, but it's supposed to get us 140 today, which means it will feel like 117.
Oh, 117. Okay. Well, here we go.
Stays indoors.
All right. What time is it? School's in. Here is today's QTips. We're talking about boredom. Boredom. Are you tired with your life? Are you tired, Nick the Voice? Are you bored? Are you tired and bored, Amber D, with life right now? Yay, nay, anybody?
Yes. I need some excitement.
I like it. Thank you. Good answer. Y'all got the script. But read the script. No, I'm joking. There is no script here. We straight off the cuff. Anyway, how do you change that? Change your routine. Day in and day out doing the same thing gets old and it can become boring. Try new things. Something that you've never done. Leap of faith. Jump out there. Food. If it's food that you've never tried and you're like, this is what I usually eat. I eat me a hamburger, some french fries, or I eat broccoli, or broccoli, because I always be getting double broccoli. Clearly. Whatever you're doing or you eat healthy, I ain't saying do wrong, but I'm saying this. If you're bored, try something different. Throw some sour cream and butter on your broccoli. I ain't never had sour cream on there. Dress it up. Do something different. Focus and execute growth. How can I grow? How can I make myself better? Because you don't want to be stagnant. And we know just as a plant, you have to water things in order to grow. So water yourself. Drink water and find something new. And if you are doing the same exact thing that you were doing 10 years ago, there's no growth, and that's not a good thing. Stop being the hermit. If you're a quiet person and an introvert, get out, do something new. Okay, I need to meet somebody. You know what I mean? Let me go say hi to a stranger at the grocery store, whatever, any place. Reinvent yourself. It is never too late to reinvent yourself. Now, I'm going to say this. It might be met with some opposition when you're reinventing yourself. And what I mean by that is you have the people, you know how they say people don't grow in their own area because those people know you. So they'll keep focusing on how you were and what you were, and you reinvented yourself. Don't focus on them. Be like, yeah, I'm glad you knew who I was, but I have since grown. So this is who I am now. Rock with it. Put up or shut up. Rock with it or not. You know, rock or roll. Stop working yourself to death. You will hear me say that over and over and over. It is so important to stop working yourself to death. If you work 2 jobs to make ends meet, understand it's 8 hours to sleep. It's only 24 hours in a day. And you working 2 jobs, 8, 8, 8. And now they're doing 12. So you only got 12 hours to get it in, whatever you plan on doing, because you up here at work for 12 hours. Stop working yourself to death. If you are not excited about the job that you do, find another one. If you are thinking about the job on the weekend or on your days off, find another job. Okay? That is extremely important, because that means that job is stressing you. If you're sitting there thinking about the job Sunday night and you got to go Monday morning, leave that job, because you are trying to get mentally prepared for a place that you are not happy at. And that's what I have. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to end on this with this Q-tip. Love yourself first and everything else will fall in line. God will make a way, lovely people. So there you have your Q-tips. All right. All right. Look. All right. We good? How about 50 Cent has a celebrity crush? And it's not what you think. Some old white woman. Actress.
Dog.
Huh?
Oh, she's an actress.
She's an actress. What is her name? Helen. What is it? Helen Mirren?
Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren.
Child. Yeah, Helen Mirren. That's it. Helen Mirren. That's who his celebrity crush is. So Vivica, you can pump yourself up, pump your lips up, do whatever you want to do. His celebrity crush is this rich white woman.
Yeah.
And so you could do whatever you want to do. That ain't what he's interested in.
But the thing is, even before he came out and said this is his celebrity, he's made it beyond clear that he don't want her for years at this point. I mean, it's embarrassing.
Extremely.
I'm embarrassed for her.
Are you?
Like, come on, girl. Get some dignity. Jesus.
Like, it's a lot.
I mean, it's just like Future. Like, these people that can't let relationships go. Something's wrong with you.
Okay. Oh, shoot. Look at that. Nate W. on YouTube said he ain't mad at him. That's your celebrity crush? If I had to choose somebody, if I went to the other side or switch teams, my celebrity crush would be Angela Bassett.
That's just understandable.
Sharp.
Exactly.
I'll give Helen Mirren her credit. Like, she has a really long actress history, and she's always had a history of being like very sexually open. Like, she was definitely like a seductress in her.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? In her prime, she was that girl. You know, so.
All right, I want fellas in the comments, put who your celebrity crush would be. Everybody know my celebrity crush, which was Snoop Dogg. Day one. I ain't moved. And they be like, what? It's something about him from day one. I don't want no smoke, Shantae. That's his wife, okay? I don't know smoke, but that's who it was forever. Regina Hall. Okay, I see you. Mm-hmm. There we go. Okay. Regina Hall. Was that Waiting to Exhale?
She's been out a lot of stuff.
But wasn't she in Waiting to Exhale?
Regina Hall, no. She's the one that played in those the crazy movies with the Wayans brothers. When they be doing them crazy movies, and she also played. Oh gosh, she's been playing in so many different movies. Steve Harvey's Think Like a Man.
Girl, I ain't never even seen that.
She's the one that married, that ended up going with, what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. And then
okay, we got
the movie. They got married. So she's been in a lot of movies. I mean,
okay,
a lot.
She was in Honk for Jesus. Y'all gotta see that. That was what I saw. I saw that movie. Okay, we got Bernadette Stannis.
Oh, you know everybody loved her, Thelma from Good Times.
Oh yeah, oh, that's who that is. Okay, what about Walona? Well, she ain't here. Okay, Thelma from Good Times. Yeah, she's sharp though. She's sharp. Michael looked like he done been through the fire. Michael, what's his name? Michael Evans. Baby.
Child, listen, he look crazy.
Listen, here, they say black don't crack, but if you got a sprinkle, it sure do wrinkle. Them light-skinned folk looking terrible. They looking terrible. I'm like, oh, what happened?
Yeah, I see it.
You see it?
I'm like, sunblocks. You gotta use sunblocks.
Use that sunblocks.
You ain't dark enough to not use sunblock.
Okay. Some people don't want it. They don't want it, girl. They're like, no.
Yeah, no, you need sunblock.
Like, well, y'all heard Amber D. She said, use some sunblock. Use some sunblock. So these guys with low self-esteem, what y'all got?
I think it's detrimental to everyone involved. So it's probably
exactly.
Dating a guy that has low self-esteem. They say a lot of them are on dating sites.
I guess. I don't know.
Because they can't.
I feel like they're everywhere. It's not just dating sites. It's everywhere.
Low self-esteem. How do you know what to look for?
Extra clingy, for one.
They're too clingy? Okay.
I mean, I like my man to be close, but when they real extra clingy, nah. Something wrong there, bruh.
I would say they don't have definitely boundaries. Wrong.
You're thinking they don't have boundaries?
No, like when they don't have boundaries means they have low self-esteem.
Okay.
That's anybody, male or female. You don't have no boundaries.
Well, we focusing on the men first. Mm-hmm. Because for some, America has women as weak anyway. Correct. So let's focus on the men and their signs of low self-esteem. I was all done. I was sitting there reading. Y'all know I be reading. And I said, this is not okay. So I went on to a site called, marriage.com. Mm-hmm. Now, some people just are happy to have a husband and want to go ahead and just marry somebody, knowing they got low self-esteem. But they come off like they got, they come off confident. Mm-hmm. Come off confident, and then you see, okay, wait, what's going on? So the signs on marriage, according to marriage.com, is he keeps on criticizing you.
Yeah, that's true.
Very true.
Okay. Let's see. All right, I agree with you. Let me put this up. You want to read that for me?
Faults on you.
Yeah, you want to read that for me, Amber D?
So Nathan W. of YouTube said low self-esteem shows up later on after the commitment. And I think that is such a great point. I completely agree.
All right. How about they have a negative thought toward a lot of things in life?
Just overall negative outlook.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
Okay.
Yep.
Jealousy comes easy. Now, see, you know what's so interesting to me? I was reading this, and the stuff that I was seeing in here, because they have like he's scared and unsure, all that other stuff. From this particular article, it was all negative. And I don't believe all low self-esteem is negative. Me personally, I don't. But there are signs when they have low self-esteem where they tend to cover up with comedy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, you feel a certain way, so you use yourself as the butt of the joke. So you're trying to cover. Yeah, so you cover yourself with that. Amber D, I'm going to ask you to read this one and blink faster.
Okay, Salvage one, Salvage of YouTube said, right head, not gun, fix everything, but it's a start. Focus on yourself, people. Self-care is so important. Body, blue, raised arms.
You understand that?
Half of it.
Half of it. But the clingy part, I agree with the clingy part of it. I agree with, because they don't want to lose you, so they always want to be around. But being the butt of the joke, comparing themselves to other guys.
Yeah. And I feel like I think everyone has like an insecurity in some aspect, but like I like the one where you said like they have a negative outlook on most things. So it's not just like one particular thing that they're self-conscious about or struggle with. It's like an overall outlook. Yeah, I think that is when it's like a problem.
Okay. Feel inferior to stereotypes of masculinity. What is that? Is that you with all that noise?
That's the traffic helicopter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I feel like because a part of just anyone, but let's talk about men specifically, of being secure in yourself is acknowledging when you deviate from the norm and being comfortable and accepting of that.
Okay.
And not being like, this is a problem because I deviate from the standard or from the perception of others.
Okay. Lack of validation from others. So they need the accolades. Like, look, like Floyd don't need them. But people with low self-esteem, they need them to make themselves feel better.
And then they'll do stuff specifically for accolades. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, so tell me this. What about, I want to get, he berates you without cause. See, don't be tearing me down because you jacked up. Mm-hmm. That ain't gonna work. And usually in the shortcomings, they tell you how unimportant it is just to make themselves feel better. Dating someone with so low self-esteem can be exhausting. So how do you get out of that? Nate, how you get out of that? Where Nate at?
Exit stage left. Wish him the best. Pray for him.
Okay, so you wouldn't stay in a relationship with someone with low self-esteem?
Not when it gets to being heavy. Yeah, no. When it starts to impact me, no. Not marriage is different, but dating, no.
So when you say it impacts you, what do you think as far as like
when you're feeling exhausted from trying to build them up and reassure them and affirm them? Because a lot of times the truth of the matter is you have to affirm yourself. You got to build yourself up. You got to gas, but if you need a person to do that, or a woman to do that for you all the time, that gets tiring. And then they so insecure, they ain't never got time to gas you up, to lift you up,
right?
Or something to you. So no.
Okay, so let me just read through these real quick. These are some signs of a man with low self-esteem in a relationship. Overcompensate with grand gestures. Yeah, they do. Some do. Prone to excessive self-deprecation. Overly possessive. We all agree to that. Hard to accept compliments. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. Not being used to them. You know what I mean? Interpreting a disagreement as personal criticism. So you having a conversation, just randomly having a conversation. They think you talking about them. What? Like everything is not about you. And they may avoid vulnerability and have trust issues.
Well, yeah, because I feel like if you avoid vulnerability, then that's going to hinder the security of the relationship because they won't be vulnerable.
Now, here's what you said at the beginning. They hesitate to set boundaries. Weren't you talking about the boundaries?
Yeah. a guy that doesn't have no boundaries, he'll do anything for you. It's like, ooh. And then men will interpret that as, oh, you like bad boys. No, women are attracted to men that have self-respect and boundaries.
Right. And what Nick said,
no, I'm not doing that.
And what Nick said, they will project their insecurities onto their partner. So that's what Nick was talking about.
Yes.
So you have that too. This stuff be here we go with this mess. Look, I'm like, there we go with that mess. Morning. And then you got I think that should be it. So that is the other site that I looked at, where is Expert Editor. That's where I actually found that information. So you guys can check that out and know what you're dealing with. I don't think it's wrong to do the legwork and research the individual that you're dealing with. I ain't all into horoscopes all like that, and be like, oh, let me see the personality or anything. I need to research you, though. Let me see these behaviors. And if I see one red flag, baby, bye. They say it's a parade to follow. I ain't even dealing with it. And I say, why deal with it? Why even go into it if you already see a red flag?
I disagree.
You disagree? Go ahead.
I disagree with what the magazine article said. That is personal. Like, no two people act the same. When I dated you, I was totally different than I dated Amber. So there might be insecurities.
Examples, people. Go ahead.
Yeah, night, no. Good night. We got kids watching.
Okay, go ahead.
Amber wears a certain thing that does something to me that makes me insecure about that, as opposed to what you did. So everything, you have to look at it from a custom-made point of view. You have to. I want to make my relationship custom. So what you think is insecurity, yeah, okay, I have some insecurities about that, not about just overall everything. If he's overall insecure and you don't see that immediately, you wouldn't be attracted to that. You can smell it. You can smell a dude who's not insecure. So he wouldn't have a chance. So the guys, I feel you guys.
Not all the time.
Okay.
Not all the time, because let me see, y'all fake the funk. What is it, the first 3 months?
Mm-hmm.
Right, but guess what? We can't treat y'all all the same.
I'm not saying that. But if you see it in your own relationship, some self-esteem issues or insecurities, if you choose to not be there, bye. So like you said, if you date Amber D and something she wore made you feel insecure, or, had low self, feeling down about it, okay, because insecurity and low self-esteem is two different things.
Gotcha.
Where with me, I'm seeing this, you low, I got to put all this energy in you. I'm like, sir, I got to speak to these people. I ain't got that energy. You ain't paying me for my energy. And you be depleted and nothing is coming back. Because a person with low self-esteem, they never put in, they never deposit. They always withdraw. Go ahead, Amber D.
So I'm glad you made a distinction. So now I agree with you. I would not date someone with low self-esteem. I would date someone who had a couple of insecurities. But if they had many, many insecurities, it's a no. So, yeah, thank you for clarifying that. See, everyone has insecurities, right?
Uh-huh.
People have different struggles, and that's totally okay. But low self-esteem is like, no. Yeah.
Right, low self-esteem, totally different, because insecurities is like uncertainty or anxiety about oneself. So, and that wouldn't be a lack of confidence, but that's not for the long haul. It can be an incident that made them feel that way, which is what Nate was pretty much talking about. Nate, the agitator.
Well, I mean, I'm here to do my job.
Agitate. But that low self-esteem thing, that's a mess. Even though the men are winning, and I did see some articles where men were asking, when is the whore phase going to be over? I fell out.
The what?
Men were asking, when is the whore phase? And this panel, the age was 36 to 42. And they said, when is the whore phase going to be over? They are tired of seeing everyone nude. It doesn't do anything for them.
It's instant validation for women who need attention. They can get attention. It's that simple. If I need attention, let me post a pic. Bam. It's the same thing for sex to us. I mean, that's a form of cheating. It's just not been pointed out. If you can get instant gratification the way you want it, just by doing something simple. That's why the whole term HOE comes up. It's not because of the promiscuous. It's because of what you're doing. It doesn't take any work for you to do it. You can just do it. So you don't get no credit for it. Like a get credit for knocking down trees. What? Oh man, you did that. You did that because he put in work. On the other end, you didn't put in no work. It's just and it's just a form of cheating. If you feeling down and want some attention, take a picture. Here, I'll show you with my A cups. Just push them tight. And, oh, see my taco meat? See that taco meat? Women love my taco meat. Bam! Now I got people. Hey, girl, what you doing? This, that, and other. You're getting what you need. Or not need, what you want at that particular time. So that's what they're talking about. The whole phase. It is totally unfair. And, even with the OnlyFans, that's unfair. You ain't got to leave the house. You ain't got to do nothing but show your feet. And I'm out here on bridges in the winter. You know what I mean? It's.
But they're talking about the whore phase. These guys, they like not into that. Go ahead, Amber D. What you got?
So if Nate is going to compare attention to women's need for attention to men's need for sex, I think that's like a pretty fair comparison. But in the same token, okay, yeah, you need sex, but that doesn't excuse you going out and cheating or stepping out of a relationship. It's not excusing.
Wait, let her finish.
From going and posting provocative images on social media for attention. So yeah, we can acknowledge that it's a pretty basic need for women, but there are still boundaries with that, just like there are still boundaries for sex, even though we understand that sex is a big priority for men.
So
go ahead, Nate.
So you're saying
speak up.
Me, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
I'm still at work. So you're saying to me, you going out and seeking other one's attention is totally different. That's different than going out. Okay,
no, I'm saying it's the same. I'm saying it's in the same way there's boundaries with sex,
right.
There should be boundaries with, posting provocative images.
I thought you're right.
No, exactly. And so we can acknowledge that it's a big need.
It's the exact same. You're fulfilling a need. And it's not because a guy's going out and cheating. Well, you're staying in and cheating. Just like I go out to work, you stay in on OnlyFans page and go to work.
So, I mean...
Well, that's fine and dandy, but it's like these guys, we got to stay focused on what we're talking about here, where men are like done with the whore phase. They don't want to see that. They've seen it all. So they're like, we're looking for something new.
Okay, so in my argument to Nate is that these men that are crying about the whole phase, especially on social media, you can adjust your settings. It is an algorithm, okay? And so you're getting all of this nudie pics and stuff and provocative photos because that's what you click on. When you stop clicking on that is when it'll stop coming into your feed, and then you won't see it all the time.
Wait, I want to hear from Nick. I need my twerk picture. All right, Nick. You said you need your twerk pictures. A mess. All right, Nick, what you got on that?
Morning coffee.
I'm going to answer to the men are the one about they're tired of when the whole phase going to be over with.
Yes.
When they done with their whole phase, like you can't expect I don't get that. Like you want a good wholesome person. What do you think we want? Like that. I'm trying to understand that one. The men want somebody. They don't want no hoe. Of course, don't nobody want no hoe. But you still want to be a hoe. Somebody answer that one for me, please. Like, you want me to sit on my hands, which, of course, that's on us because you don't want to be trading energy.
Oh, okay, so she got that point. So when are y'all going to be finished with the whole phase? So you want a good, wholesome person, and for her to sit there and be at home, and then y'all go and hoe with everybody. We can't even take you to the family reunion because you done knocked off everybody.
Disagree on a couple of different things. But
go ahead. What you got?
I kind of lost some of it, and I lost my train of thought. But I'll go from here.
Okay.
A guy. You look for a guy. A woman looks for a guy. for, like I keep on saying.
We don't. Y'all hound us. Y'all hunt for us. We minding our own business, and you come to be the savior of the day to come, and we sit there and be like, all right, well, I'll just go ahead and I'll date you because you sold me all these dreams. And then I get to the house and find out I can't sleep because you stressing me out to even have a dream.
Then you have, just like you chose,
Basically.
choose to leave him.
Now, I want
the question is, when is the whole phase going to end? And I agree with Nick. The women's whole phase will end when men stop paying attention to it.
There you go. Bam.
Boom.
Bam, smack, did that. Look, bam, smack, did that. All right, let me get this
here.
here.
Tell your other head and tell your other head to calm down. There's only one woman for me. We ain't going here, there, and everywhere. And jumping from this one. Because, of course, like they say, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. You can't turn one into a husband either. Tried that several times and failed all three. So, therefore, when y'all decide, when you want the whole face to be right, you don't want to stop looking for one on the side, because men is good for saying, well, I got my wife at home, she this, she that, and I ain't never leaving my wife, but you got the side piece to do all that other stuff. Now, if you have a wife and you know you like freaky stuff, or you have somebody that you like, and you like freaky stuff, but that person is not into that freaky stuff, then that means, okay, we're good friends, but I'm into this, and
well, you should have married the freaky girl.
One person, and so therefore I need to look for somebody who matches my sexual energy. That's when all that whole shit will be gone. Oh, sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to do that. But that's when all that whole phase will be gone. When people start finding the person that matches their energy all the way around, including sexual energy.
Right.
That's when it'll be done.
Okay. Well, amen and amen.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Listen. Okay. She said that, but it's the truth. I got a text that's on and off this subject, but it's really important. Who is it?
It's
Uh-oh. Someone's at the door?
This young man, okay, I am heterosexual. I was raised by a single mother. The whole phase don't phase me. Oh, no. Okay, he's talking about the pictures. So the pictures don't phase him because his mother walked around nude, so her body didn't do anything. Like he likes the mind of the person. So seeing a body is like just seeing a body.
right.
So let me finish this. So 4 single mothers with sons, stop walking around your children nude or with just underwear.
So it sounds like he's blaming his mother or his childhood for the struggles he's having in adulthood.
He's saying that it don't turn him on.
Well,
I mean, listen, I've been a photographer for years, and I had a studio, and I've taken a lot of pictures.
Don't put me in it, Nate.
Well, no. I was, yeah, man, you see my studio, but I mean that was for your.
That was for me.
A little bit of, right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But the thing is, I mean, that don't stop me from wanting to see Amber D.
So, but it would have to be okay. So,
and I feel like again, and I was just gonna say this kind of goes with that pattern of like these adult men blaming their childhood for what they're currently struggling in adulthood.
He said it in the beginning. I'm single mom.
So that's what he's attributing it to instead of go talk to a therapist about it if you think it's an issue.
Well, he doesn't because that's probably why the sentence started with I'm a heterosexual. Like, so he's attracted to women, but he said it's the mind. So these pictures and stuff don't turn him on. It's just like a body part. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, well, I mean, that's cool. But I mean, that's not an issue. I mean, if it came because of that, I mean, well, I did enjoy my dad slapping my mom on her ass every time he walked past. And I mean, I catch myself doing that too. So, I mean, I
just like the comment. You know, I wanted to read that comment. It was a valid statement because there is a lot of mothers that walk around with her panties, bra on, not thinking nothing. You know, that's just your child.
Okay.
And not thinking anything of it, where he's saying that these pictures, like seeing a new woman, it doesn't turn him on, which is probably a good thing. You know, when he brings it back to that, he said it's their mind, and that's what he's attracted to.
Okay.
So the whole with the whole phase.
Hard though because
wait. I'm gonna let you talk, but remember the question. We're talking about when is the whore phase gonna be over? So it sounds like he's one of those gentlemen that was on that panel. Like, yeah, this did that, so it does nothing for me. You know.
I mean that don't.
Wait, let's hear from Nick because she was trying. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, my thing is, okay, I admire him saying that does nothing for him. That means he ain't going to have Roman eyes. It's the mind. But when you find that, yeah, hopefully he's listening. When you find that special woman wants you, her man, her mate, to admire more. We want you to admire our mind, thank you. But we also want you to admire our body when we're giving it solely to you. So that can cause a problem because if it don't do nothing for you, then that's going to mess with her self-esteem. Because it has to go hand in hand.
Oh, okay.
Now, when you are genuinely serious.
Okay, wait, Nick. Wait, Nick. I'm gonna have to pause you because I want them. They have something to say on that one. Go ahead. What were you gonna say, Amber D?
Well, I mean, because he's like you said, he started saying as a heterosexual man, and then he ended with, instructions for single mothers not to walk around, in their underwear in front of their children. So to me, it was framed as if it was a problem. Like there's a problem in there of what he was talking about.
It sounds like what Nick was saying. Like he's like in the mind and not the body, like he probably wants. Go ahead, Nate the agitator. What you got?
The thing is, he can find a whole bunch of women with beautiful minds. That don't mean he's gonna stop cheating. She has a beautiful mind. She has a beautiful.
How do you know? How do you know? Because you got to get to know that person. He ain't gonna look at you across the room and be like, "Oh, she has a beautiful mind."
But exactly.
In conversation or in the way she moves or something about her, they don't listen. If you don't find the one and work on it, and because marriage is the beginning, it's hard. Lord knows it's hard. And I've tried a couple times. It's hard. That's when the work begins. But if you're not willing to work for this relationship, not for me, not for you, but for the relationship, it don't matter. I can find 100 women with beautiful minds.
Why do you say that marriage is hard?
Because that's when the work starts.
It is.
I agree it's hard.
Really?
That's when the work starts. Yes.
You got to work at it, baby. And if that other person is not willing to work with you, then you have nothing. There is no foundation. Not a nothing. If they're not willing to, because you got to have communication, you have to love that person, you got to be in love with that person, you have to have all of that. And if there's none of that, compromise. And if you have none of that, then there's nothing, and there's no reason for y'all to even stay in that marriage. So marriage is hard work because you have to work for all of that, and the other person has to be willing to work with you and meet you there. And people will say, meet me halfway. Nah, baby, don't meet me halfway, meet me all the way.
Okay, I like that, but let me say this.
That's 50-50.
Let me say this. Y'all all say, all of you guys being married, me too, that marriage is hard. I disagree. Marriage is hard when you're married to the wrong person. But if you are married to the right person, it's not going to be hard. And I'm going to stand on that, even being divorced. Because it wasn't really hard. If we just don't match and our goals and dreams change, that's when the work goes in. But at the beginning, this is, how they say those first 5 to 7 years are like the hardest.
Uh-huh.
I just feel like that you should still be on that honeymoon phase, and those should be like minor things. Communication, you got to figure out how to communicate with each other. Now, marriage is hard when Nick hit the nail on the head. Marriage is hard when both of you guys aren't on the same page. One is not doing and the other one is. That's when marriage is hard. Marriage is hard when the other person is not fighting with you. If both of you guys are got one common goal and fighting for the same goal, it should not be hard. That's just me. Salvage said, what did she say? 10,000 hours of work. Go ahead. What you got? Now, let's go with this comment. Tanisha Williams said, if everything is perfect, something is wrong. Now, let me say this. Okay, and then Salvage One says, yep. Not saying that everything is perfect, but how often do we just in general, I don't. I live in the moment. If you are in a relationship, and this is called self-sabotage, agree or disagree. You're in a new relationship, everything is perfect. And for you, boom, boom. Do you enjoy the moment, or do you look for what's wrong and cause that problem? And I'm not talking marriage. I'm talking about in just dating and just being out. And you'll be like, oh, something wrong. Something got to be wrong. Everything is so perfect. So you're looking for what's wrong versus living in the moment and just say, oh, this is working for me. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think you enjoy the moment, but I don't think realistically there's any way you can be with someone for a decade or more.
I said the beginning of relationships. That's what I'm talking about.
But in the beginning, you absolutely should just enjoy it, but also have understanding that eventually, there's going to be a bump in the road. There's going to be something you don't like about your partner, or something that's annoying, whatever. That's going to happen.
Okay.
And then not only that,
I've
we talked
always
about this too, where you can have a problem in your marriage and it's outside your marriage, but it's impacting your marriage.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the death of a child. Maybe y'all had a great relationship, but then your kid died, and now it's just,
that's a whole nother. Now that's where the work comes in. It's like because you guys have a different grieving process, and one might not agree with the other. Go ahead, Nate. What did you want to say?
I forget. No, but I mean, a lot of that I agree with, so I can't really agitate, so I'm off my job.
Oh, okay. Tanisha Williams said what Nate said for what you were talking about earlier. Nick, did you want to add to that real quick?
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, any of my relationships, I always go into it and live for the moment. I never look for any problems because problems always found me. So I never go into any relationship looking for a problem. I already know if there is going to be a real problem, and it has. Now, I've had some relationships where no, it was not a real problem. There's like little things, and I can tell you, there's one relationship that I had. We were engaged. We are still friends to this day. Period. He had been still friends with me through all three of my marriages and everything, and we are the best of friends. That one, I walked into it with living for the moment. Certain things happened after, we had separated just for a time because he went to go get himself together and some other things happened. But we are still the best of friends. So, yeah, there are those instances, but it just so happened that I moved on and then he happened to move on.
And that's my point. Point blank. See, that was my point right there. My point was that you didn't marry him. So if you see, okay, this ain't going to be, then why even start something? Go ahead, Nate. What you got real quick?
At what point do you say, this ain't worth my time? I mean, because this is dating and stuff like that. You can't just throw everybody away for one red flag. So
what?
You just say
a red flag. Listen, you got your pros and you got your cons. And if a red flag will be on my con list that I absolutely will not tolerate. So yeah, I'm gonna throw them away. I ain't that hard up.
Are there orange flags?
You're saying I.
Are yellow flags?
I'm just saying. I'm just speaking for me. I'm not speaking for the masses. I'm speaking for me. Now, Amber D, would you say is there an orange flag?
Is that in your system, in your dating system?
I don't.
Yellow flag.
I don't have yellow. I don't have orange. I got green light.
Like the way you choose.
Green light, red light. That's it.
Vicious. Male vicious. I don't like the way you chew on your food.
Okay.
That's what it sounds like.
But listen.
You drink with your mouth open? Oh, Lord.
Listen.
Beat it.
If I already know I can't deal with it, why even try?
But there's some things like you can deal with, like you don't like. But
that wouldn't be on my cons list.
It wouldn't be on the me list neither.
Let's get personal.
But it's okay.
Let's get personal for a second. Can we get personal for a second?
We absolutely can.
Okay. Have you been in a serious relationship since your divorce?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I lost some money on that one.
I have.
Okay. All right.
And I just knew.
Questions.
Go ahead.
Come here, Amber.
Okay. I mean, no, I don't know. I feel like there's things that like maybe I'm not crazy about, or things I'm indifferent about, and I have no feeling about it. So it's not going to go on my green list of like, oh, this is a wonderful attribute.
It goes on. Well, watch this. It goes on no list. It's not listed.
Okay.
So those are your tolerables. It's not listed. The pros, bam, and then your cons. So there's no yellow or anything or orange. It's obsolete. Like whatever.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Now me, if you smoke cigarettes, that's on my cons list.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't have if you smoke weed on my cons list. And that's my example. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Gotcha.
So it's not like, now if you smoke crack, that's on my cons list.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? What? So there's a difference. So like marijuana wouldn't be it's not on any list.
Okay.
So that means, okay, well, do I like it? That's a yay or nay. It don't bother me.
Right.
But my no, like cigarettes and crack, bye.
Right, and I feel like that's what I was saying. Like, this stuff, I feel like for me personally, I have a lot of stuff that doesn't make it to any list. Like, it's not a critical thing.
Right, so you're good. But I believe in the list. I do. I totally believe in making a list. It's important. And if it's something that's on your cons list and you still decide to deal with them, understand that all the rest of that is going to be on there too. And it's like, nope, ain't having it. Sorry. But I've been the same way even when I was younger. I'm going to be honest with you. When I was younger, I had my little boyfriends in elementary school. I guess I was picking them good back then.
Oh.
Because they're successful.
Okay.
They successful now. So I guess I seen it. I had the vision, honey. Like the type of person that I was interested in. And I've never been interested in the jock. I've never been interested in the jock.
That explains a lot.
Yep. I always was like the gentleman, boom. And so my little elementary, my one y'all already know, successful, doing his thing.
Uh-huh.
And then the other one's a mayor. He became a mayor down the line. That was elementary. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, you doing it. So I like it. I don't regret my exes.
But you didn't cash in.
But that's okay. I chose well.
Yeah, and I feel like that's something for men and women to reflect on. Like, if you have really negative feelings about your exes, or your exes bring you shame, then that's something you should really work on. Like, your picker needs to get stronger, because it is possible to have an ex that you're still proud of and still like, yeah, they're very successful.
I'm proud.
Exactly. But if you're picking partners, male or female, and they're exes that you're ashamed of, you gotta pick better. Okay.
You gotta pick better. That's why I was like,
I've personally experienced this, so I'm speaking from personal experience. And you can pick better, but you gotta reflect on yourself.
And see, these are like way, way little, so I'm proud of myself. Look, way, way little. And then like high school, successful, hard workers. And some people feel like, oh, okay, well, you just date like the business type guy. No, I date the hard worker, because here's the thing. I date the people who will do whatever it is they have to do to make sure they are able to provide for their family. If your ego is too big that you like, I ain't working at McDonald's, I can't rock with you. I can't. Let me put this comment up. And Amber D, you want to read it?
So Tanisha Williams of Facebook said, gentlemen can hide red flags. So I absolutely agree. Yes.
Yep.
And like Nate said earlier in the show, that low self-esteem comes out after the commitment. Most people know that the major issues are usually well hidden.
All right, we got them L's, medical mamas. Let me hurry up and get it in. Okay. The 6 best spices to fight gut inflammation, meaning if you got gas. Okay, summer almost over, but we need that stomach to be right, okay? And this is according to gastroenterologists that came up with these spices. So I guess it's a good thing, lovely people. You got turmeric. How often have we heard of turmeric? Bright yellow spice commonly used in Indian cuisine. Turmeric has an anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effect. So check that out. I don't think it really tastes like nothing. Ginger is a good one. You know how usually like at the Chinese place, they have it on the side. Chew that up. You'll feel good. If you're nauseated, I'm telling you, it works. And it is good. Oh, there it is right there. Alleviate nausea and vomiting and motion sickness. I just said it because I used it when I was car sick. Cinnamon is good. It's a warm and comforting spice used to bake for baked goods, oatmeal, all that stuff. It tastes good too. But that one supports production of digestive enzymes. Peppermint. Now, we know that one. If you ain't feeling good, what do? You just go right on ahead and you pop a peppermint in, okay? It helps with two things, bad breath and your stomach. And it prevents nausea as well. If you're nauseated, it helps. Licorice root. Now, that's a sweet, earthy herb, they say. Never tried it. And they said it's been shown to have an anti-inflammatory effect as well. Have you ever tried that? Have you ever cooked with that?
1 second, Chief.
I've cooked with star of anise, which to me tastes like licorice.
You ain't, wait a minute, Nick, what you say? You ain't had no licorice nothing? Hold on 1 second, Nick. Let me finish this one. Oregano. Hey, we like that one. That's what the Italians use, right? Mm-hmm. All the time. That's supposed to be like a good one. So, woo. There you have it, lovely people. My Mel's Medical Moments real quick did that, right? I'm trying to get Nick back up on here. How do we do? When you don't know how to work your phone, okay? Look, I'm like when you don't know how to work it. I think I got it. There we go. Uh-oh. No, I done called her. Look.
You done called me and I was already on. I was just on mute.
Oh, okay. There we go. Oh, okay. So there you have it for your Mel's Medical Moments. Some little tips to cook with to feel a little bit better. Throw that stuff in there that people don't know, and then they want to know, oh, okay, well, I'm feeling pretty doggone good.
Uh-huh.
All right, lovely people. Nate, you got some last words? Give some good advice.
Hopefully I can be there in person soon. So
I know we gotta be back. Yeah, I missed the in studio. Miss in studio.
Yeah, but I had to break away to sneak off and get my shop talk with Mel.
Boom, boom. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming on. You got any last words, Amber D? As far as like dating guys with low self-esteem.
Thinks outlive.
Well, I from a
wait a minute. What you say, Nate?
One of my Nateisms. He who outthinks outlives.
Okay, that's a good one.
Fair.
All right, what you got?
Now, I just wanted to mention the memes about the Montgomery brawl.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on to that. All right, Nick, you got anything?
Stay away from anybody with low self-esteem.
All right. So exit stage left when you see it. All right, go ahead about the memes. What you got?
Oh, no. I thought we were going to talk about, we were going through the sequence of events. We were going to talk about the dudes that were skipping to the brawl, that shirtless. So,
yeah. Listen, that's the fight skip though. That's the fight skip. That ain't a skip. That's the fight skip. Like what? That's what that is. That's the fight skip. That's like, okay, it's on and popping. Boom, boom, fist in hand.
Those were Q dogs because they were on the boat. So yeah, you know they live for a fight.
But were they? We don't know for sure. So we gonna say alleged. Because there is a video of a guy going around dancing, and they said that that's the guy who was jumped, and he was like, popping, doing crumping, and that was not the guy. So I want you guys to be clear on that. That is not the guy. But I got to do this because we got to end the show. We done renamed Aaron Rudolph the swimmer. Aquaman. I'm about to delete you off because I got to do it my part. Johnny Gills, Fishy Smalls, Doc Rivers, Scuba Gooden Jr., Nipsey SEA Hustle, and LL Pool J. Y'all heard any different ones? Y'all ain't heard of different ones?
I heard most of those.
Yeah, I heard most of them too.
All right, lovely people, I thank you for coming on, and I want to give you today's footnote. But let me say this first. You can join us on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, okay? Like us on all socials. We are on every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. I truly appreciate you guys for tuning in and giving me some of your time, because time I know you cannot get back. So thank you very much. Today's footnote: rewriting history to make people feel comfortable is no good. All right?
Amen.
Find you, embrace you. Most importantly, always love you. Until next week, people, you know what it is. 1, 2, 3. Shop Talk.
You guys are awesome.
We are awesome. We're off. We was off like a mug.